All right, welcome back to another live edition of the Warheads. We got some of the usual suspects back and wanted to have a discussion today. There's some strange things going on around this world, as we all know. Always has been, probably always will be until somebody puts the lights out on all of us. But I was looking at something the other day online and I wanted to have a discussion with you all. It's a company called Miso Robotics. And right now, they're actually trying to acquire shareholders, as you can see. They're trying to create the world's first AI kitchen assistant. But their ultimate goal is to have a fully automated um, robot kitchen. As we can see from their crowdfunding, they're at 30 million. They have 11,300 shareholders. And their stocks are at 67.94 per share. And so when I look at stuff like this, and we've seen robots in the past, but now they're literally going at the heart of the working man in this country. We know that we've been in our economy is calcifying. This used to be a industrialized country, but we know America has outsourced a lot of those jobs overseas. And now looking at what they're trying to do in the restaurant industry, and this is only the beginning. We have automated cars out here now. Google has their driverless car. They're actually driverless trucks that transport goods and services from one part of the country to the other. They've actually logged hundreds of thousands of miles, probably millions at this point, with these robots. And now, they've already integrated kiosks into a lot of restaurants where you ain't even got to talk to a human, which eliminated the cashier, which we traditionally have known. But now they're like, you know what? We're going to get rid of these cooks too. And so, as it is, it's time for the rise of the machines. And I wanted to have a discussion with you all as this world prepares us to hand over our flesh. Go in, Warheads.
All right. Well, I'll start this off. I could start by saying that this was an eventual evolution. I think that was going to happen for a lot of companies. A lot of companies are sick of just not getting the production, the bang for their buck, if you will. As we talked about earlier before we started up the show, but yeah, these companies they were used to hiring a lot of these people and just not getting the maximum amount of production from said person, said individual. So instead of going that route, it just made more sense for these companies to add kiosk into the mix and self-serve checkouts in a lot of grocery stores. This restaurant is invested in this this machine that's going to put a lot of people out of business in the restaurant business. But yeah, these companies, this was bound to happen. And like I said, it's just a basic thing of the company wanting to maximize on the production and minimize on the amount of money that they're gonna have to spend on that production. So that's pretty much my take.
It's funny that you say that because on the website, and I know this is just hot air that they're blowing. They're trying to put the public's fears aside to allay their fears for the elimination of jobs. Forbes magazine says a fully automated kitchen would not cause job losses. In fact, one restaurant consulting firm estimates that robots could potentially fill 80% of the positions in the industry. But the part that they're leaving out is they don't pay a living
Thank
wage.
you very much for coming again.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not paying, saying that part. And so, yeah, you might be filling 80% of the positions in the industry, but why are that many positions missing in the first place? It's because they expect people to come in, slave over their stoves, and allow people to just work for the bare minimum and expect to make a living wage. That's not smart.
No, it's not.
It's bad for the economics.
No. What you got, Joe?
I mean, you got to think what's going on right now that could be having a lot of people out of jobs. So, I mean, it's part of the puzzle, man. It's everything's starting to come together. You know, we were told a long time ago that when the Great Reset started, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. So, how do you stop people from owning stuff? Is you take their jobs. You make them feel like a second-class citizen, and that's what it is. It's like, be careful what you wish for. I mean, it astonishes me sometimes when I think of how much we actually put into the how much of our livelihood we put into just anything like robotics. I mean, we're just becoming lazier, and it doesn't make any sense. I mean, people should bring it back to the basics. I mean, everybody's done it. I mean, just because you join the workforce and you don't make as much as you think you should make, oh well, you got to work to be the top. But now we have everybody thinking everybody deserves this and everybody deserves that. I mean, it was eventually going to be like this. It's crazy to think that how many people you're actually going to be putting out of a job just to make a few people's life easier. Because not everybody's going to be able to afford this shit. Not everybody's going to be able to afford to have anything like that in their own house or anything. So it just kind of, I don't know, it's full circle, man. You got to be careful what you wish for.
You know, just hearing about this and thinking about it, it makes me really feel bad for horses. You know what I'm saying? Like, really think about it. Over 100 some years ago, you weren't allowed, you weren't allowed to, go long distances if you didn't have a train or some sort of form of locomotive. You got around on a horse and carriage. And then here comes this little thing called the automobile. You know, putting horses, good, hard-working horses out there. It's a shame. It's a shame. That damn technology.
And they got the nerve to call what's under the hood horsepower. You know what I mean?
Thank you. You ain't no real horse, you know? But seriously though, all these guys are making great points. We got to look at the economics and the human aspect of the ramifications of this. And it will be. But I think that we're only looking at it from our point of view. We're not looking at it from our kids, our grandkids' point of view, that they'll be able to, this technology will become affordable eventually. Like, everybody didn't have a car back then. You only like the 1% had a car. Now you look forward like 150 years later, everybody's got a car, you know? And the technology will get better, it will be more efficient, and it will become more efficient enough where everybody will be able to have it. But more technology advances, the whole point of technology is to make things better for us, you know, so that we don't have to go to jobs and work 14, 16 hours shifts just to get by. You dedicate 24 hours in a day, you dedicate 16 hours of your life to a job just to pay your bills and then be broke that same day. I know every last person on here is tired of that. And if you aren't, maybe you found the career that you've been looking for, and God bless you. But for the rest of us, we work our hands to the bone. The point of technology is to get us to the point where we don't necessarily have to do those things. That, yes, the machines will be babying us, quote unquote. Yeah, sure. But there'll be more of us free here to be able to do research and go do projects that we've always been passionate about, but we don't have the time because we've subjugated ourselves to our responsibility of our jobs. So keep that in mind.
You know, it's funny that you actually say that because, like, we're at a time before this really takes over. And people, like, have you ever had a conversation with somebody and you're talking to them and you ask them a question about something and the answer is literally at their fingertips with just a simple Google search and they won't do it. So if they're not doing it now,
Yeah.
logic stands to dictate that they really won't do it then. I think this is a dumbing down of America.
Yeah.
Have you all seen the second Renaissance from the Animatrix?
I don't think I have. No.
This is how it all began. Humans were using robots to do their daily labors. You know, we as humans, it's actually built into our DNA. When we work with the earth, when we're working, we get stronger. When we live a life of leisure and we're not sparking those cell membranes and stuff like we're supposed to, we get dumber. Technology has already proven that. Go ahead.
This is the fun part of this conversation. Who's to say the next 100, 150 years from now that we're going to be this? We're going to be a carbon-based organism like this. If you go check out Neuralink, that's something that Elon Musk has been working on for a while now. And he just went into like the beta testing of it and he put it in a pig. Basically, it'll be a small chip the size of like a rice grain. It'll be able to put it inside of your brain and basically it'll refire up nerve endings and things of that nature. So a person who couldn't walk, they'll be able to walk. A person who can't see, they'll be able to see. And not only that, all of the information that basically the internet has will be at your fingertips. Now, that's not to say that you won't have individuals that'll just be sitting there and just, you know, watching porn all the time. You know what I'm saying? We're not saying that it's not going to be individuals that will do that. But I think that the freedom of just not being a slave to the man, and literally your life is your life. I think our grandkids and our great grandkids could do some amazing things. Maybe even get off this planet with this form of technology.
You hit on another nail on the head. I know the other day they just did a successful transplant of a pig organ. It was a kidney grown in a genetically altered pig functions normally. Scientists report the procedure may open the door to a renewable source of desperately needed organs. We're at a time where they're really, you're right, they're dismantling the human body. They start with these organs, and I know they've played with cloning. I think there's clones walking around now.
There definitely is. There definitely is.
You know, and so you're right. There's something very sinister, very demonic going on. I don't think the humans that you say that will have the time to think and build what God intended originally. You know, this is a crazy world. You know, it's time for us to hand over our flesh.
No. I think we've all seen enough movies like I Am a Robot and shit to know that we should just leave well enough alone. Yeah, it's a convenience, but I mean, whenever you succeed to get something, you're giving up something else. You might not see it directly, but you're giving up something, and you're giving it up for good. I mean, think about the way that this eliminates people calling off the work sick, doing all the things, not reaching your quota for the day. But what else do they have planned for us? Because I guarantee we're not just going to be sitting around a campfire singing Kumbaya and thinking about how we're going to make. No, it's not going to work like that. It literally is. This is for the elites. We are not part of this. We're not part of this program. That's why we are being etched out little by little. And people say it's okay here and there, but in the long run, our grandkids and our kids are not going to have a life like we had. It's not going to, think about going to work. It does give you some type of pride. It gives you something to go towards. It pushes some people to the level where they say, okay, I don't want to be broke no more, and I'm going to come up with a business. And even people that have businesses, they still will work their job. I watched a video where this guy, he owned like a couple properties, and he just kept working his bartender job. And then he realized he was a millionaire and he didn't have to work, but he was just working just to work because it did something for him. So there's a lot of things that work actually does for us humans. And yeah, to me, I think it literally is just trying to dumb us down and separate us even more than we're already separated, because then they can control it. They'll be able to control everything if they pay for everything. If you don't own nothing, you won't be able to do anything. Do you think your rights are still going to be the same way when you don't go to work? Now you're not earning your keep. So what's to say that they won't get rid of us?
You already don't own anything. As long as the government has eminent domain on their side, they can take.
Yeah, but there's still a thin line right now where it's kind of like already thought that you own something, but in the next generation you will own nothing and you will be happy. That's the slogan of the Great Reset.
You said the operative word, thought. That's like a wish. That's nothing. Whenever you have a thought, until it's manifested into something that's actually tangible that you can touch and bring into the real world, that's all it'll ever be. That's like waking up from a dream, be like, "Woo, that was a nice dream."
Yeah, but then, in that sense, then you should never try anything, and you should just live your life like a bum every day, and just because you're happy, you should be happy, and that's it. And that's the precedent of where life is right now. Is a lot of people don't think, they just think about me, how to solve the situation, and it's like there's bigger things at right now.
What it is that the social media is the opioid for the people right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we have drugs out here to keep people sedated and so on and so forth. But social media, the pleasure centers of the brain are activated. People don't want to do nothing. People are less motivated now than ever before in the history of mankind. And so when these conversations are coming up, it's really like they're doing predictive programming on us as we speak. See what we respond to, see what we gravitate to, what we like. They literally put stuff out here to see how we respond. There's a study out there from Facebook that shows that they get more of a reaction from negative posts than they do from anything else. And so because these things are happening and Mark Zuckerberg is at the helm of this, he's even talking about rebranding and changing the name of Facebook so that people can move away from the negative connotation that's associated with Facebook, the name Facebook, I should say. All this stuff is being put into place so that we can hand over our flesh. We'll be docile and we'll walk into this new world order without a fight. And so the point that you were making about not fighting, that's why we come up with topics like this, to make people think, to spark those brain cells, to be proactive when they do try to introduce these things, instead of just laying down and like, well, this is how it is.
Yeah. No, all I got to say in the end, I agree that I agree with Zoe when he says that this is going to probably end up bad, in the end, when it's all said and done. I'm thinking about it from the aspect of just the regular person, standard human that's out here, and the effect that this type of stuff is going to have on that person. So I'm thinking about all the job opportunities that are going to be taken away because of that. And the strange thing about that is that apparently the consumer has driven the demand for something like this.
Yeah.
Because apparently the system hadn't been working efficiently enough with people, so had that been the case, maybe this prolongs or delays people having to put machines in place of people. But I think that's a lot of what this is. It's just that inefficiency is what's driving these companies to do that. And so, yeah, when you think about it from that aspect, people have gotten lazier, which is led to this. But at the same token of the consumer being able to drive the demand for this type of thing, they can also demand for people to be put back in place, because they are the consumer. And at the end of the day, the company is going to listen to the person that's actually providing the money that they're making. So the consumer can go ahead and say that, technology has went too far, and we have realized that we are taking people away from this process. And let's reel this back a little bit, just so we don't do that. So we are incorporating humans more into the system, but that's not a part of this.
What's terrifying is the fact that I'm the one who's being the optimist about mankind here.
No, you are being very optimistic. A lot of hope over there. A lot of hope for you over there.
That's terrifying, man. Anybody that knows me, that's terrifying. For me, it's the whole aspect. We look at movies, right, as an example of like the Terminator and so forth and so on. But I think one of the greatest science fiction enterprises is the idea of mankind coming together, and that's Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek. It wasn't the fact that mankind was still beefing with each other and then all of a sudden somebody just went to space. No, it was a collective of mankind getting their shit together and saying, look, this is what we've done apart. What can we do together? And they figured out a lot of shit, renewable energy, things of that nature. Earth in the Star Trek world is peaceful as hell. It's space that's the new journey, the new horizon. That is where the conflict is. And hey, look, if we can figure that shit out and we can have minds that are less stressed, and technology and renewable energy, something like renewable energy is possible through things like this, because it's going to breed technological advancement. It's going to breed the people wanting to make a better form of this technology, and those avenues lead to other things such as possibly renewable energy. Just think about that. So
what kills what kind of kills that whole thing. And I love the optimism and the hope. And it's funny that man could paint a picture like that, paint a picture of optimism like that, and yet not follow through, because what's going to kill that is capitalism. Excuse me, but that's what's going to kill this at the end of the day. Is
capitalism is the gift and the curse.
Yeah. So that man is gonna when you find all these people and all these resources being shared and all this other stuff, there's gonna be some a-hole who's gonna look at the whole scenery and try to find a way to capitalize off this and make more for himself out of this than for everybody else. So I think that's always gonna be the kind of the thing that's always going to happen in these situations.
Yeah, I applaud Mr. Gene Roddenberry for his utopian outlook on humanity. I love Star Trek. I'm a big fan of The Next Generation. But the way things are now, it's going to be more dystopian than utopian at this rate. And Zoe even said it earlier. A lot of these things that they're coming up with won't affect us. However, I think they will, because it's going to create a vacuum. When you start to introduce robots that can do what humans do or what humans used to do, that creates an economic vacuum. That's a big part of the reason why the governments around the world are talking about a basic universal income, because they're understanding that there are areas in our world that nobody can do the job anymore or won't do the job. But these people what are we at? Almost 8 billion people. These people still need to be able to put food on their table. You know, maybe they don't care if we live in tents, but at least to be able to eat. Maybe the housing isn't as important as it is, to make them eat. Once you have that dynamic, people start to rob and steal, breaking homes, breaking cars. Crime goes up, and so they're trying to look at a way to offset them trying to introduce all this technology and robotics into different sections by giving people a basic universal income. Here you go. This will take care of your basic needs. Whatever else you need, go find it. That's basically what they're doing. And so that vacuum in and of itself is what's going to create that dystopian society.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds nice that, we're going to have all this extra time and all that, but I don't think that's what it's going to be. I mean, I don't know, man. This is a first world problem because a lot of countries ain't going to have to deal with this because they already know how to sustain themselves with being on. But if you're owning nothing and then it's one world government, then you get paid. It's like, I don't know, man. It's just a weird time. It's literally going to be idiocracy. Literally going to be idiocracy. And I don't see how people don't see that. And people need to stay away from that because, I mean, we need to leave well enough alone. I think we've made it to where our life is convenient and can be convenient without too much hurting us right now. We don't need to go deeper. I mean, what's his name? Elon Musk. Yeah, he already has a robot that he's going to come out with too. Somewhat similar to this, except for it's just not going to be for kitchens, or it's going to be like able to tend to you, basically like a little butler. And I don't know, man. It's too weird. It's too weird. I don't think we should jump into this. But everybody looks at the convenience of it, like, oh, it's going to be so convenient. It's going to be so convenient. But I mean, what are we giving away that we're not seeing? That's the question. That's what everybody needs to be thinking about. The shit that nobody wants to say, the shit that they're leaving unsaid, because they're leaving it unsaid for a reason. I mean, if this is for money, who's going to be making all this money for them to be funding this? Because most people are going to be out of a job with the remedial tasks that these robots are going to be taking over. So yeah, then you're going to have to give us a basic salary, a basic income, and it's now they can control you. Now they give you what, and they say, here, figure this out. Whereas opposed to now, it's if you want something and you work hard enough, you will go out there and find a way to get it, and you can save up and you can do. Now it's gonna be a total different ballgame, man. And I don't think everybody.
Isn't that the beauty of being human? Being able to adapt to situations. That's what we do.
Oh yeah, we do adapt.
We adapt. We figure things out. And God, I'm the optimistic one on this one. This is terrifying, man.
Because you got a government that doesn't want everybody right now. You got a government of elites that, like, it's literally like the purge in a way. You have people that run it, and then the people that we just think is, oh, it's just a day to kill each other and this and that. No laws. But there's reasons for that. There's reasons why they're letting it. Like, they wouldn't do that if it wasn't going to benefit them in the long run. And we don't see it yet, but when we see it, it's going to be too late.
No, we do see it. That's just it. What it is.
Yeah, most people see it, but not everybody's waking up to this. No, like, there's still people that are going to go buy that. There's still people that buy things to make their lives convenient every day. And it'll be the most remedial thing, but they don't feel like doing it because they think they're better than that. They think, oh, I don't have to do this. I'm past this part of my life. I should never have to take the trash out again. No, get your ass out, take the trash. Like, that's what I'm saying is everybody feels like they're too good to do something. And that's everybody across the board.
What I mean by we see it, I'm talking about a small percentage.
Yeah.
It's a such thing as called hiding in plain sight. And that's what they're doing. They're selling it like, ooh, this is going to be so cool and awesome. Wait till you get this new thing. Like right now, like I'm going to share a video. They're coming out with these robot dogs, right? This is what they're coming out
dogs.
with.
Yep.
these robot dogs. In other words, not only are they trying to replace humans, they're trying to replace our pets. But I will say this.
That shit looks scary, bro.
Because they know where their loyalty lands, though. They know where their loyalty lies. Like,
yeah, no, well, the dogs already are like that. You know what I mean? Like these dogs ain't. But
you're not gonna be able to turn a dog. You're not gonna be able to turn a dog on its owner. You know what I'm saying? But if they have a robot dog, all you gotta do is flip a switch, and that dog don't even know you no more.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying too. It's a slippery slope, man. We ain't gonna have no privacy, nothing.
Right. We lazy as fuck if we done got to that point. Well, we don't even want to. We don't even want to train our dogs no more.
Hey, and those things
flip switches.
Those dogs have cameras. You don't think they're not listening? I mean, everybody has an Amazon, a Siri, or whatever, any type of those listening devices. That shit's listening. That shit's recording. You're making it easier for them not to do their job. All they got to do is go press a play button, and you're playing everything. You're telling on yourself. Everybody's telling on themselves.
Look at John Gruden. Some shit that he wrote 7 years ago, and they figured out what he said. You don't think exactly. I mean, already there. The thing is, the fear is it belonging to those shadowy people and not belonging to everyone. That's the key. If it belongs to everyone and everyone is making good off of it, we can live in a Gene Roddenberry world. But as long as there's always shadowy figures that are always having this ominous, nefarious plot behind stuff, that's where the problem comes, and that's where people have to stand up at.
Eric Peoples.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's funny, man. Because that's some good stuff, man. But these machines and where we've gotten in this world has just become ridiculous again. I'm for the small person in this fight. I really think that when it's all said and done, these, like we all are saying, except for Peeps, who happens to be looking at the optimism in this, which is great, go for hope, but we're taking people away from the workplace, and that economic vacuum that Apocalypto spoke to is going to turn very big, very fast, and create a lot of problems. Like, we live in a society where it really doesn't take much to get us to that dystopian future, or not too many steps away from that, So, it's not going to take much before panic and fear and all that gets started. So, these are some of the first steps, I believe. They putting they robot dogs in place. They putting their machinery in place, to be able to do the things that we used to do. So, hey, man, first steps, man, the rise of the machines. We here.
Eric, he wants a Gene Roddenberry utopian future so he can get him a Deanna Troi or one of them green aliens that Kurt. He's like, I'm getting one of them green girls.
All day. Captain Kurt here, bud. Captain Kurt.
Make mine's blue. At any rate, that's our show. We want to encourage everybody to subscribe. So we come with more of these hard-hitting topics or targets or whichever.
Yeah.
Whichever one they want to be.
Warheads, baby.